the post-production, that is the editing process, takes a long time, and there were a lot of problems during that point. There was one long important scene that had no sound, so there were a lot of things that sort of spelled disaster throughout it, and then slowly you kind of fix those, repair those things until then it becomes watchable, and then it becomes like sort of good, and then you're like, hey, I think we might have something here. Then I think, oh, maybe I'll win the screenwriting prize at the NYU Film Festival, and then I just really had my fingers crossed for that. So obviously we've outpaced that by a wide margin.
Is it a whole new world for you now, dealing with this?
Sure. I mean, I'm not used to getting recognized in the subway. I get a lot of, and I go. So there's certainly that aspect of it. I guess I'm inviting it a little bit with this haircut, recognizability. But no, it's certainly amazing. But you get back to planet Earth. I'm still working on a feature script. I'm back in my apartment struggling with that, and I'm not a better writer than I was before I got the Oscar, and that's still just as difficult. So
the cheesy question is, where are you going to put it?
I'm giving this to my mom because I don't want to be in a position to be writing a script looking at this on my desk because it gets me too self-conscious, and I feel like I will never match it. So Mom can take this down to Florida.
Where do you go from there? I mean, winning an Oscar so early on in your film career, how do you top that? I mean, is it just about the work at this point and coming up with cool ideas?
I mean, I think anything in this, the only thing you really receive or you win in the business is the ability to do more work. So this will open some more doors for me, obviously, right out of the gate for my career. And, I'm just hoping to be able to make a living doing this. And hopefully this will accelerate that goal. It was a crazy night. Usually it's like you talk to a famous person and then 3 weeks later someone's like, what's up? And 3 weeks ago I met Paul Rudd. But that night it was like every 2 minutes was like a month's worth of like adventure. So it was a night unlike any other.
You don't throw in people's face though, like people that don't have an Oscar, like famous people, and so like, dude, I got an Oscar.
Suck it, we're tied, Scorsese. No, I don't. No, I mean it's the short film category is don't take that completely out of context. So the short film category has its own sort of unique rules. So I feel very fortunate to have kind of been able to advance through it. Obviously, I don't think Hitchcock won an Oscar. So there's let's be honest. There are plenty of great masters of the medium who didn't get this piece of metal.
How did it feel in the moment?
It was. It's hard to remember what actually happened there. I remember Jake Gyllenhaal. I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal. If it wasn't, then that's very offensive to Amy Adams. But I'm pretty sure it was Jake Gyllenhaal who said my name, and I ran up there. And I remember like really booking toward the stage, and then seeing the 5 stairs that for a second I thought I could clear in one leap. And then I became very scared of falling. So I think if you watch it, I'm like running, and then I stop and gingerly like hop up the steps, and then I said something about my haircut, and then that's pretty much, it's a blur from there.
The Delaware shout out, did you plan that, or is that kind of a spur of the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I ad-libbed the thing about my hair and then the thing about my mom making the snacks on set, but everything else was pretty much written out. I'd actually written down the small but mighty state of Delaware. Then when I just ended up saying the great state of Delaware, so that was actually a little bit of a flub. No, I've lived in a lot of places, but this is definitely what I think of as home, so it was important for me to.
Luke, when you were at Concord, do you remember high school being good? And what kind of student were you? What clique were you? I mean, how would you describe yourself when you were here?
That's a good question. I would say I was very active. I was in a bunch of. I was in all the plays. I was in all the choirs and like class officer. I was very involved in like the homecoming float creation and honor society. Typical dork stuff. But I definitely. Made the most of that, and I guess I was sort of well known. I wouldn't say anyone would describe me as cool, but I think people knew who I was, and I had a lot of friends and great memories here.
I think reuniting with friends and family is right up there with him winning an Oscar, and I think he feels that way too. Because a lot of his high school friends went out to Hollywood, and the night before he won an Oscar, they were all there, and he was so, so humbled by, I think, their support for him. And he said he doesn't know how tonight could get any better. And it did get a little better the next night when he got the Oscar, but I think the whole support and love that you feel is incredible.